Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and today I have a Harry Potter finger puppet tutorial. Just showing you some of the supplies that we're going to use for this project. I'm going to start out by getting some of this orange embroidery floss, and that's going to add some detail to the outfit that we're making for Harry. Today we are using a finger puppet base. These are available at achildsdream.com. That information is down in the description box below. And for the first time I actually made some patterns for my finger puppets. And this will make it a lot easier to do a lot of the same kind of outfits, and since we're also going to be doing Hermione and Ron, it was a good idea to do that pattern, and you can actually see some of those ties already pre-cut up at the top of the screen. So I've made the hat by just cutting out a circular piece that's kind of cone shaped, and then I used a little bit of glue and I wrapped that up and around. Don't worry about that extra glue that's peeking out there. I'm just going to trim it off. Working with felt is really forgiving, especially when it's 100% wool felt, which this is. And then I'm just going to use my scissors to kind of round it off. And then I'm going to put this cone-shaped hat onto the base, which is just a round circular piece. And that's about it to make the hat. And it's very iconic, it's pretty easy to do, and it really adds a lot of personality to the finger puppet. Next we want to work on his outfit, and I've pre-cut all the pieces that I need. We're going to start with the cape first, or the robe rather, and for this I have that little bit of embroidery floss that I'm going to loop around at the very top of this piece. That you could actually just use a rectangular piece, but I went ahead and I kind of made it look a little bit more like a trapezoid, but if you wanted to just make it rectangular, it would work as well. I'm separating this embroidery floss in order to do a little bit of embroidery and some detail on the outside of his robe, and I'm just going to embroider the letter H for Hogwarts. I am also going to tie it all off with a little bit of glue. This ensures that it's really going to stay in place. And that's what it looks like, and it looks fabulous. But now we want to work on Harry, and we're going to work on the hair first. This is what I typically do when I am working with finger puppets, and though it will get a little bit in the way of working on the outfit, I tend to always start with the hair first. Now I'm using some worsted weight Lamb's Pride wool yarn in black, and you go excessive to begin with, and then you can give them a haircut. But don't worry, we're going to use those little clippings to add to the little spaces that didn't get hair. So I'm giving him one last haircut before I glue his hat on, and that just goes right on top of his head. You want to make sure that you use a sufficient amount of glue because you're gluing it onto the hair. And then we want to give him that iconic scar in the shape of a lightning bolt. Now I did this with pencil, but you can also do it with ink as well. Now we're going to work on the glasses, and I am using a paper clip to do this. I'm using the small paper clips. I'm also using a tool here to help me wind it around to make those round part of the glasses. And you could use maybe a very small pencil or a dowel if you didn't have this kind of tool, but it really helps for shaping it rather than just using your fingers, because your fingers will get really sore if you're just using your fingers in order to shape the glasses. So to trim off the glasses, I'm using some wire cutters. Don't use your scissors, you will damage them. And then I want to get that glued onto his face. Now I'm finding it a little bit easier to glue this kind of under the hair and then use the hair to keep it in place rather than using gobs of glue and, kind of inserting the end piece of the glasses into the glue, which I've done in the past, and though it works, it doesn't look as nice as kind of hiding the glue underneath the hair, which actually holds the glasses in place a little bit better. So he's really looking like Harry right now, but we want to get him an outfit on, and we're going to start with a shirt, which is just some white wool, and I'm going to give notches in the top of the wool here so that it can tuck into the neck part a little bit better. I'm sorry that I am so low on the screen here. Basically, you just want to get some glue onto that shirt and tuck it all around the neck and in the back. And then we added a little bit of glue for the tie, and now we want to do the little top part of the shirt. Now don't pull that little piece too tightly, especially if you are not using wool felt, because the felt will then tear and break because this is a very tiny piece. And if you are working with acrylic felt, you may not be able to get a piece that has that much detail. I highly recommend you upgrading the quality of your felt to a wool blend, or in my case I'm using 100% wool felt, which works really well. It's very durable and it ages really well. So we got his pants on, which is just basically a rectangular piece of black felt. I'm going to kind of secure that tie a little bit better, but when I put his jacket on, I don't want to put any glue onto the outfit. I just want to glue the jacket onto itself, and that way the tie stays kind of loose underneath and it just looks a little bit nicer. My daughter took him for a minute, but I got him back so I could show you what he looks like. He's got his nice embroidered H there. He's got his tie. I love the glasses. And I actually have a little mini broom to go with him. That is in a separate tutorial if you want to see how I made Harry Potter's broom. You can tap on the screen right now to see that one. If you want to see some of our other peg doll and finger puppet tutorials, I've left a couple of videos for you. And don't forget, you can find me on a daily basis by visiting me on Instagram at Pepper and Pine.